Joining me now on this exclusive Sportskeeda.com interview is a lady who is a legend in terms of the Knockouts division and an Impact icon. I'm talking about the lovely and talented Miss Madison Rayne. How are you doing today?
What an intro. Thank you. I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing well. I want to first off start off by congratulating you on a tremendous career. Obviously, you're making a transition to a new stage in your life, but you have so many accomplishments that you have to be proud of.
Yeah, I am. And, I've spent the last couple of weeks knowing that this was coming and kind of letting myself think back about everything that I've done. And just in the last week or 10 days, I think I saw somebody tweeted a picture or a reminder, I guess, that on this date in 2014, Madison Rayne won her 5th Knockouts Championship, and it reminded me that I did that when my daughter wasn't even 6 months old, and so I've really kind of let myself fall down the rabbit hole of all the things that I've been able to do, and it just makes me really grateful for the career that I've had.
Well, going back to your roots, you were a standout student athlete in high school, and then not long after that, you're in a wrestling ring. Was it always kind of a dream of yours to be a professional wrestler?
Yeah, I think so. But as I was growing up, when I was a kid, it wasn't ever anything that I thought would ever come to fruition because I wanted to be a pro wrestler. I wanted to be Miss America. I wanted to marry one of the Hanson brothers. So I had a lot of big dreams, a lot of things on my bucket list that I wanted to accomplish. But it just, like a lot of things that I'm sure that we'll get into, it just kind of fell into my lap. I was training for a fitness competition in the small town in Northeast Ohio that I grew up in. I walked into my gym one day and there was a flyer for a wrestling show in my hometown, and there was a school there, and it was meant to be, obviously, because I walked into that school and was like, hey, who do I talk to, and when can I get in the ring, and what do I have to sign, and let's do this.
What was it like? You were obviously very young still when you started with Impact. What was it like when you first got that call and realized, hey, I'm going to be on television and have a chance to be a star?
I'll never forget that, because at the time I was wrestling, locally on independent shows, and was also a bartender at a Buffalo Wild Wings, which I loved. But wrestling was my passion, and so I had gone to Orlando. Called Jeff.
Yep, there they go.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's part of life.
It's part of life. It's my new normal. I had my tryout match with TNA at the time, and it took down. I had my tryout match right before the holidays, right before Christmas, and so I wasn't going to hear back from anybody. And then at that time, right after the holidays, right after the New Year, they went to overseas and did the UK tour. So, I sat around, I waited some more, and at the time, 2 months felt like an eternity. So when I did get that call from Terry Taylor, I will never forget, I held it together as he was talking me through all of the things that were getting ready to happen, and then I hung up with him. I called my dad. I fell into a puddle on the floor in my hallway, and I cried, and I remember my dad got emotional, my mom got emotional, and it was just like, it was perfect. It was something I'll never, ever, ever forget.
When you came into TNA, it wasn't long after that you got aligned with the Beautiful People and became part of that faction. What was that experience like, and what was it like working with Angelina Love and Velvet Sky?
You know what? When I started at TNA and they told me I was going to be part of the Beautiful People, I'm so thankful now looking back that I was so ignorant to the opportunity that I was being given and how big that was, and what an absolute awesome position I was being put in. I was still just like this starstruck little kid that was in awe of what was happening, and it was literally just happy to be there. And so then in the months after, when things really started to skyrocket, and I was I was on the road all the time, and we were doing live events, and we were going overseas, and things really started to become real. It was, I don't think at the time I could wrap my head around it, but I'm so thankful that I had that opportunity. I'm so glad that Angelina and Velvet welcomed me the way that they did, and they kind of wrapped their arms around me, and they guided me through those first few years of my career. And, without that opportunity and without the guidance of the locker room at that time, because it wasn't just Angelina and Velvet, it was that entire locker room in 2009 and 2010, that really helped me grow into who Madison Rayne became.
You mentioned that era of the Knockouts division. At that time, we've heard a lot of other companies talking about, the women's revolution, but you guys really were on the cutting edge of that at that time. You guys, and at that time, in that era, you were working with people like Awesome Kong, Gail Kim, Mickie James, a lot of legendary names. What are some of your memories during that time, and who were some of your favorite opponents or people that you got to work with?
Well, again, I was just this young kid at the time, and so every time somebody came into our locker room that, that I watched as I was starting my career, even before that, I don't like to say when I was growing up, because we're all in the same age range, but like as I was really, really looking at wrestling as a viable option for a career, I watched all these women. I watched Gail Kim, and I watched Tara, and I watched Mickie James on TV. So then to have them come into TNA, and a lot of these, Tara and Mickie James, I was their first match or first short feud. So again, just all of these opportunities that I'm so grateful now as I sit here at 34 years old that I was ignorant to what a big opportunity I was being given. And every single one of those women, they were patient with me. They were kind. They gave me constructive criticism. They wanted to see me get better. They helped me along the way. And maybe it's because I'm sitting here years after the fact, and reminiscing, but I don't have a bad experience. I just have all of these wonderful memories, and I'm so grateful for everything that those women did. Gail Kim took me under her wing not once when she came back to TNA, and I was there, and we were meeting for the first time and worked together and became Knockouts Tag Team Champions. But then 5 months after I had my daughter and I came back to wrestling, and my insecurities were at an all-time high. I wasn't sure if I still even remembered how to take a bump, and she helped guide me into my 5th Knockouts title reign. So I've had a great career, and it's because of incredible women like all of those that you just listed.